would like to move for the approval of House Bill number 9710, an act revoking the legislative franchise granted to Suarasug Media Corporation. So,
Major stockholder po doon sa ano,
Mr. Chair,
na
if I
executive
may.
pastor. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may, with due courtesy to the Honorable Franz Castro, just a quick interjection, Mr. Chair, if I may. Because SMNI is the business name, but the corporate name is actually Suarasag. So maybe for reference, because it's on the records, if the Honorable Castro will be amenable, all her reference to Sunshine Media Network International earlier be changed to Suarasag Media Network International.
it is very clear that in the life of their franchise, they should offer to Filipino citizens at least 30% of its outstanding stock. However, for the past 29 years on which they have been operating, not a single stock has been offered to Filipino citizens.
Surprise kasi Pastor Acobo was appointed by Pastor Quiboloy as trustee. Executive pastor. Di po ba nakapagtataka? He cannot express himself in English, in Tagalog. Pero siya po yung chosen one. Ano po very special characteristic o special kay Pastor Acobo?
Ma'am, it's a management prerogative na ni pastor na siya ang mupili kinsa ang gustong mupuli sa iya ha, whether makasulti og English o dili.
So it's
That is
Pastor Quiboloy's prerogative based on management skills, not dependent on the mastery or the art of speaking either in Tagalog or English.
Thank you po, Mr. Chief.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so are there any other questions for or against this measure? The Honorable Franz
Sir Chair.
Castro.
Yung tungkol lang po sa SMNI, no? So, iba po yung sa KOJC, no? Yung mga trustee doon. And of course, with the SMNI. So, gusto ko lang itanong, Mr. Chair, dahil ang I mean, yung stockholder na KOJC, tama ba? Stockholder ang KOJC sa SMNI. And KOJC, Mr. Chair, is a church, di ba? So, church siya. So, tanong ko lang, Mr. Chair, kung nagbabayad po ba ang SMNI ng tax since ang majority stockholder ay church. So, paano po ba yan? Siguro sa BIR, Mr. Chair. So, siguro masasagot po ni Attorney Mark Tolentino kung paano ba yung gano'n na merong component ng church as a stockholder ng SMNI, and then yung SMNI ay in a commercial business, di ba? O sa business siya ng broadcasting.
Mr. Chair, it is not the Kingdom of Jesus Christ who is the stockholder of Suarasug Media Corporation, but it is the executive pastor of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, the name above every name. So, under the latest 2022 GIS, Mr. Chair, and also 2023, with respect to the taxes, we complied all the BIR regulations, payment, and we can present that to this honorable body, our income tax return of Suarasug Media Corporation, Mr. Chair. And it is open book. You can ask the BIR whether or not we complied all the tax requirement, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So, ano rin po ba yung yung executive pastor as stockholder doon sa SMNI, Mr. Chair, yung benefits niya from that? So, paano po ba yon as a major stockholder po doon sa
Mr. Chair,
na
if I
executive
may.
pastor? Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may, with due courtesy to the Honorable Franz Castro, just a quick interjection, Mr. Chair, if I may. Because SMNI is the business name, but the corporate name is actually Suarasag. So maybe for reference, because it's on the records, if the Honorable Castro will be amenable, all her reference to Sunshine Media Network International earlier be changed to Suarasag Media Network International.
Your Honor, may I answer for the question of Honorable Castro? So as to KOJC, aside from being a stockholder of Suarasug, KOJC is also a block timer. So we broadcast spiritual programs through Suarasug, and in case there will be income, dividends may be declared and may be distributed to KOJC as a stockholder. But as of record, there are no dividends declared since based on the decision of the board of Suarasug.
So, Mr. Chair, linawin ko lang, so ibig sabihin, so walang kinikita dito yung KOJC doon sa SMNI.
As of the moment, Your Honor, KOJC has not received dividends from Suarasug.
For Franz Castro. Any other question by any other member? If there's none, no other question, the Honorable Johnny Pimentel. Sir.
Mr. Chair, this is already the fifth hearing that we have conducted. And sixth? Okay. So, 6 na hong hearing ang ginawa natin dito. We have already heard all sides pertaining to this subject matter. We have discussed thoroughly all the pertinent provisions of Republic Act 11422. We exhausted already all arguments that needed to be discussed. And Mr. Chair, of the 6 hearings that we have conducted, this committee, I believe, was able to establish violations of Suarasug to their franchise. And may I repeat what has been stated by the author, Representative Gutierrez. First and foremost, we have seen or we have established that they were in violation of Section 4, responsibility to the public, which we have already thoroughly discussed, which I will not discuss anymore. Section 10, the sale, lease, transfer, grant of usurpact or assignment of franchise. We were able to establish that there was a change of ownership from Kingdom of Jesus Christ. In 2020, they reported in their GIS that KOGC owned 95% of Suarasug. However, in 2022, as per their GIS, the shares of KOJC was diluted to 46% and it was transferred to Phoebus Global Holdings, I believe. So clearly, there was a transfer of ownership, and under Section 10, they should report this to Congress and, or rather, ask permission from Congress. And once the transfer is consummated, they should report it to Congress within 60 days, which they did not do. Now, under Section 11, we have also established that they were also in violation of this pertinent provision, dispersal of ownership. It is very clear that in the life of their franchise, they should offer to Filipino citizens at least 30% of its outstanding stock. However, for the past 29 years on which they have been operating, not a single stock has been offered to Filipino citizens. And lastly, Section 12, which is the reportorial requirement. So, Mr. Chair, klarong-klaro ho, although of course, the legal counsels of Suarasug will oppose our findings. They have their own interpretation also of the law. but I believe that this committee has found sufficient grounds to revoke their franchise. On this note, Mr. Chair, this representation would like to move for the approval of House Bill number 9710, an act revoking the legislative franchise granted to Suarasug Media Corporation. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion. Approval of House Bill 9710. Any second?
Second the motion, Mr.
Duly
Chair.
seconded by the Honorable Pancho. Any objections? The chair in objections. House Bill number 9710 is approved as with no amendments. May I suspend the hearing to direct the committee secretary to prepare the committee report. Session suspended.